Thomas and the Wolf.
Story time. See, there's me with Piyu, or Priyal, and you can see the description here. Tom is a workaholic, LeftTuber, trying to balance having a life, making the world a better place, and pleasing the YouTube algorithm. The Wolf is the unofficial mascot for the alt-right. I'm reading that backwards, but hopefully you saw it forwards. Okay, so here we go. This is chapter 1, Rivalry. This is red letter text now. The new competition, the new race for space, the new rivalry is to uncreate rivalry. Those who accept this already know it. Those who resist it will create its joy being thrust upon them. Everybody gets to win. In the myriad levels and frequencies of spaces and places, the now dance reigns through all. In the place where night and day are one, differences in doctrines are dissolved in the process of aligned experience. Okay. We're moving on to the green text. So that was the red text. If you've read, there's a lot of books that do this. For example, Dune and a few others will have like a little, I think Foundation might have been the first ones to do it, where he had a little paragraph from the encyclopedia. Anyway, moving on to the green text. For Pete's sake, Ebenezer Rothschild is not even a real person, Thomas said, slamming his fist on the table in front of him. He took a moment to collect himself. He closed his eyes, took a breath, and remembered that he's not one of those angry pundits trying to stir up bad vibes. He's a part of the solution, not part of the problem. He looked back at the camera. I'll edit this part out. Here's a little dot indicating that we're kind of a change in scene. Still green text though. I just want to know where this is going. Tom and Gwen sat at their usual table in what appeared to be a coffee house, but the food was so good it might be a Michelin 3-star restaurant. Gwen was once Thomas's high school crush, who he'd finally gotten the courage to ask out to prom. Then there was college. Then came the YouTube channel. Thomas held up one finger and continued chewing his avocado toast, stalling for time. He'd been dreading this conversation for weeks. Finally, he came out with it. Look, I know you dream of a house with a white picket fence and all that. That hadn't sounded the way he'd intended. What I mean is the algorithm. I know. Gwen put her hand on his. I know. Tom hadn't expected to cry, but he wasn't embarrassed. That would be gender normative. She wiped his face with a napkin. So, this is it? He looked at her for a moment. He loved her. There was no denying that. If it were up to him, he'd be with her for the rest of his life. He shrugged. I guess so. And that was the end of that. Tom checked his phone and reached for his wallet. Gwen said, I got it. Tom said, thank you. To do otherwise would be a microaggression. Sorry, I got a deadline, I know. Change of scene. Little dot. Change of character too, by the way. I do not align myself with Nazis, whether you mean those of World War II-era Germany or those who call themselves that today. The press man pointed to the swastika tattoo over his heart and the surrounding runes on his well-maintained torso. How do you explain this? When I was 18, I dropped out of high school and went to India. Lived there for 7 years. This tattoo was given to me by the same Brahmin who gave me these mala beads after I climbed a sacred mountain, chanted Om Namah Shivaya well over 100,000 times, and a lot of other things. Oh, okay, I see. So it's nothing to do with Nazis, the pressman said sarcastically, raising an eyebrow to his audience behind the camera lens. So then, why is your perfectly spiritual, not racist at all, swastika tattoo surrounded by Germanic runes again? He crossed his arms, standing tall and proud. Because I honor my ancestors, like the Bible taught me, like Confucius and anyone worthy to be called human called me. And my ancestors came from England, Scotland, the Netherlands, Germany too. Runes are part of my heritage. And see, here and here are Celtic knots, because Celts are part of my heritage too. Pressman says, so would you say you're proud of being white? Hey, those are your words, not mine. Yours and Carl Linnaeus. The wolf paused, like he expected Pressman to say something. Nothing? Really? You should Google that. Look, if it came down to a race war, I know what side I'd be on. But if you respect me, I'll respect you. And being your rival doesn't mean I think my ancestors are better than yours or my genes are superior. It just means I look out for my own, just like you do. Ultimately, I look out for myself. He thrust his thumb into the center of his chest. Excuse me, I was a little low. I see, Pressman said. Is that why you call yourself the lone wolf? Is that a real wolf's head? The pressman indicated the taxidermized upper jaw and head of the gray wolf that the tall bearded white man was wearing as a hat. Just the wolf. I am the wolf. When you look at me, you are looking through me at the great wolf spirit. My ego died a long time ago. I killed it. Meaning I, the wolf, killed it. Now I'm just the wolf. The pressman tried to stifle a laugh, but also seemed to be a little bit afraid. Well, that's about all the time we have. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us here at WOWT. Fake news! The wolf got the last word in, then proceeded to howl and return to the chanting crowd, pouring 2 beers over his own head. USA! USA!
Very special thanks to Siberian shaman Olena Utai, who provided the wolf howl that I used behind the announcing of the title of Thomas and the Wolf. That particular howl came from one particular video. This video. Watch that video. You won't regret it.